You guys, Love is Blind season 8. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to talk about this season, even though it was live. It's a little bit more boring than past seasons, but I'm just grateful to be here and to talk things out like we're on a FaceTime call. If you don't know me, I like to talk through everything Love is Blind. I like to talk the standout moments as opposed to summarizing the whole entire show. But to avoid spoiling the whole thing in case you haven't seen all episodes, I'm going to talk the standouts from episode to episode. I might just accidentally summarize the whole entire thing because a lot stood out to me. But basically, yeah, I like to talk to stand out moments, and I also want to get feedback on how you felt about this show. Who's your favorite so far? Who do you identify with most? Who is the least? Who is somebody that you didn't expect to be a villain that is kind of a villain? Um, and just like, what would you like to see out of Love is Blind? I'll be asking questions along the way, so please feel free to answer them in the comments. Also, if at any moment in this show, in this what the heck is this YouTube video? If you like anything I have to say, if something like struck a chord with you, whatever the heck, please consider giving me like any sort of engagement. It so helps out my YouTube channel. I post these videos all the time, and my Love is Blind, for some reason, I never get over like a couple thousand views, and I kind of feel like I could. You know what? Anyway, that does not matter. What matters? No, it does. Okay. If you would like to help out my channel, please engage with this video in any way, shape, or form. But let's get into the show. Okay. Anyway, the preview, we start off with the preview. This looks like it's going to be good. It seems like we're going to okay. It seems like we're going to be following the rise and fall of some Midwest princesses. It looks like we're going to be having a little bit of tea. I'm very stoked to see it. Season after season, okay, we get introduced to all of these new people. And I'm like, how the heck am I gonna learn all of these strangers' names? Like, how the heck am I gonna know anything about any of these people? And it kind of gets me excited because I remember that like Love is Blind specifically has reoccurring archetypes, right? Like I feel like there's a lot of stereotypes of people that come on the show. Like we always see our strong personality blondes. Doesn't always have to be mean, but like sometimes can be mean. Our short kings who always lead with the fact that like dating is really hard for me because nobody, are charming cheating Africans. Are charming cheating Africans. Um, our one standout black woman. There's always a one standout black woman. I was gonna say that it would be like our Oprah of the show, but like since it doesn't work for this season, I can't. We have our I have too many options because people only see my looks men, like, and they always are trash. They're always trash. They're like, I have a lot of options, but I wanted to see if I could push my limits and my what's it called? I wanted to see if I could like be less shallow. Men. I promise I wrote this before I even started watching the show, okay? And then we have our wholesome men turned gaslighters by the end. You know the use. You already know. So anyway, I'm I was very excited to see what that was going down. I promise I wrote that before all of this happened. Anyway, so we start getting introduced to everybody. The people that we're introduced to at the very beginning are like Daniel, Devin, Brittany, Virginia, and then that one blonde nurse who I think is Taylor, right? I mean, as time goes on, I'm gonna like identify them more, but this is what stands out to me about episode 1. Okay, so we find out that Daniel is he our short king or is that Alex? Also, a lot of these people just look the same. Okay, a lot of these people look the same, talk the same, act the same, and the whole concept of Love is Blind in Minnesota is ridiculous because literally there is no variety. Even within this cast, like all the men have brown hair and like blue eyes, and like I feel like Minnesota just been inbreeding for like decades, dude. I swear. Like if you threw like a blonde man in the mix, that's your variety. That's your DEI. If you threw like a blonde man who like looks normal, like a normal East Coast man, be like, ew, who is? I get to talk about this because I'm very familiar with Minnesota. My dad's from Minnesota. born and raised. My grandpa lives in Minnesota. I spent a decent amount of time in Minnesota. Shout out Prior Lake, shout out Owatonna, shout out Mall of America, which is the best thing to come out of Minnesota. Anyway, I just kind of feel like in a lot of ways the Midwest is like, there's so many parallels between the Midwest and like literally the South, because they all feel very country, like conservative values, interesting accents, but like the Midwest just feels like it just is like drained of like flavor the way that the South isn't. I don't know, dude. Does that make sense? Let's get back to the show. Anyway, so so we get introduced to Virginia. Virginia, if you know, you know, she looks like Brittany Renner. And she's a beautiful woman. There's so many things that come out that, well, so many things. There is like one thing that comes out about her that I'm like, what? That is really confusing to me. Okay, so we have Joey. He is so Midwestern, it's crazy. The minute he was like, so true. You can tell a Midwest accent by like the emphasis on the O and the U's and a lot of things. Oh, like, and then the fact that like a lot of men who are traditionally like more attractive just all have like variation of Paul Bunyan-ness to them. Monica, we are introduced to, also very Midwestern, like from the time that she said, "Oh, such a green flag that you that you blah blah blah." Uh, Monica and Joey, thank you. They are going to be our boring couple. Love them. We have David. Oh my god. So we get introduced to David, is a man who says that he has too many options. And I swear to God, I wrote this before. A man has too many options, and I wrote down that he's seemingly trash. He works in medical sales, but then also like with medical procedures. He says he sees a lot of procedures of like what a woman should look like, but he believes that like women can kind of all different shapes and sizes and whatever. There's not one version of beauty. It's like, do you believe that? Or are you talking yourself into that? Because I feel like we are kind of just talking ourselves into it at this point. And he leads with edgy humor, but it's not even like edgy humor. That's just like what you like legitimately think at the bottom of your heart, and you say it, but just follow it up with "I'm just joking." And we all know somebody like that, and they're not funny ever, bro. Like, you're not edgy, dude. You're just you're literally just like, he leads with the whole like, "Oh, so you're in love with wine? What's wrong with you?" Anyway, like you're with the whole Lauren thing. And that's the thing, is like men like this will always find somebody so beautiful and wholesome. Why? They will always find somebody so beautiful and wholesome. So Lauren introduces herself, and she's 30 something, and he's like, "Oh, you're 30, so you're no longer attractive." I'm just kidding. He also says so many things, dude, that like, I'm like, you think you're such like, you were so it, and you look like somebody's uncle. You look like somebody's uncle, and it makes me want to cry, because then people like Lauren just put up with it, and like it further like makes him think that he's it. Oh, okay. My god. Oh my god. I need to calm down. So then we get introduced to Lauren, who's in educational sales. She's a former teacher, who's preaching about livable wages. I love it, Lauren. Thank you. Which is crazy to be like thinking, like to even say like, yeah, I believe in livable wages. That's like a controversial like thing, right? Um so then we see David. More like, we're seeing a lot of David in the beginning. I feel like it calmed down towards the middle and end, but it's weird. So David meets Molly, and I'm excited about Molly because we get introduced to Molly. I think it's very interesting because she's like the DEI of her group, the redhead. Molly has never had a boyfriend before. When people who like have never had serious relationships come on relationship shows, they I don't think we've ever seen a success story. And I get it, like they probably just got reached out to by the show and we're like, we'll see. Like, let me just be honest, I'm hunting. But it's always like, what are we do? What are we do? Anyway, I do like her energy, but I'm like, what are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? So David opens up about his mother's death, um, and about how like she was always somebody to like put a lot of emphasis on integrity. And to be honest, I kind of am struggling to think about how to say this like nicely. I kind of feel like sometimes parental deaths change people for the worst when it comes to certain personalities. You know what I mean? It's the whole like I feel like I feel like a lot of like narcissistic people, when their like parent dies and it's like the good parent, they just get worse. They like their personalities. I don't know how to describe it, but um, like the whole Kanye thing. Like Kanye was whatever. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Anyway, I'm excited about Molly. I like her energy, but I kind of feel like there's also this deadness to her too. Does anybody else what do you let me know how you feel about Molly? Because I kind of feel like I like her, but at the same time, there is something about her that feels like what are I don't know. I don't know. There's something like kind of withdrawn. Okay, so then we have Alex, 28. He said he grew up ugly. I do love a man who grew up ugly because they really do know. Like, they really do know how to act. I feel like if you grew up like non-desirable, you are humble. Like you have been humbled by life. He has wholesome energy, but I also don't love. I don't love that he said that he grew up like with an afro because like why people just be like throwing out black features and they think that that just makes them ugly, but it's like shut up and get a haircut because that's not a. It's like my afro was not like the thing that makes me, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know, like I feel like white people just be saying these like funny little things about them, but it's like literally you could have solved that in any I don't know. It's not a phase, mom. Like it's not for some people, but it's like funny. Anyway, but I do ultimately like him because he has some wholesome energy and I will forgive him. Well, then we have Madison, who was an accidental baby, grew up with a mother with substance abuse issues, um and basically is kind of the parentified has the parentified child dynamic, which I'm very familiar with as I am in this anonymous group for people with issues that I cannot mention because we don't talk about it. um so she has a lot of I really identify with her. I really do identify with her in a lot of ways. She has a lot of compassion for her family, um as people who are children of substance abuse users have. They have this like softness and this yearning just for like stability and love, and I kind of feel like Madison is above this cast because I feel like this cast is a lot of like very boring normal Midwest people, and I just kind of feel like I just kind of feel like she's just she's just a little bit I don't know. I feel like maybe this isn't even also the show for her. I feel like she needs to go on something like couples therapy. You know, couples therapy I feel like really digs deep and is a place for people who are like more so emotionally intelligent to speak on their things and work on it with a partner. Like I want to see on couples therapy. Anyway, so we have Alex. Alex was bullied in school, has severe what the hell? Did I just say? Okay, no. Alex, yeah, he was bullied in school. That's the one who said he had the afro. And has severe ADHD and really struggled with school. Madison was also bullied and they bonded over that. They do not fit together, dude. Like, anyway, so then we are introduced to Mason. He's 32. That man looks like he was straight out of high school, not just by looks, but also just by his demeanor. He just seems like life is just happening to him and he's just responding. I don't know how to go further into that, but that is just my read. Is that relate? Like, I don't know. Madison is a painter. Mason is a cinematographer. Two peas in a pod. It is also very Midwestern for him to have gotten into cinematography from like skateboarding because literally. Also, can I just say, I feel like Madison and Mason work well together because they both look like they are like evolved high school burnouts. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how offensive that is to say out loud. But come on, they just I feel like they had the same. I feel like they've always had the same like aesthetic. You know what I mean? Versus Alex is he just seems like a little bit too straight cut, like wholesome, whatever. For Madison. So then we get into Madison's feelings of belonging or just belonging and also longing for a familial like strength basically that Alex kind of brings out of her. So then I'm trying not to read my notes too much, but like I don't know what's happening until I do. We see Meg talking to Madison. Meg is like very quirky, hyper, out there. Like anytime she has like a single thought, she's gonna let you know. Um, and I'm conflicted with her because I love that she throws this authentic energy into the mix, and she's not um she adds spice to the show. You know what I mean? But I also kind of feel like you know the type of person that you are. Like you just I just feel like I don't know. I'm struggling with kind of liking her because I know I wouldn't like her IRL, but for TV she's good, you know? Anyway, David's gonna piss me off. David's gonna piss me off. I already know. Like he's talking to Molly and he says, you sound like my ex. You're also not like other girls. I told them I had an OnlyFans and they believed me. Yeah, we don't know who you are. Like you're being introduced to us. So when you say something, people are gonna believe you. Also, people don't know that you're joking because they don't know your humor yet. It's also that things about these guys that are like, you're not like other girls. You blah, blah, blah. Oh, like times are, dude. Also, like times are tough. Times are tough. Eggs are like $50. We're also in somewhat of a progressive society as it relates to language. So people like not like this is not like it's 2000 and all you're making a joke about being like a sex worker. This is like 2025 where like multiple people have OnlyFans. You know, like um, David starts talking about oh, I don't know. Can I say sex without being punished by YouTube? YouTube? Can I? He starts talking about it and it just grosses me out because, and you know what? It's not just because he's unattractive to me, it's because his energy is off putting and he's weird and because he's unattractive. And then also, I don't like it when like people who are unattractive and arrogant think that they're attractive and like walk around like they're god like they're literally God's gift to this earth. You look like someone's uncle. You look like somebody's uncle. And it's just so annoying. I try not to be mean. Like it sounds very mean, but I just don't like the way that he is acting. And I kind of feel like you're just a little bit too unattractive to be like that. You are. And not to say that attractive people get no, but it is true. Attractive people get a cut on being like acting like that when they know how attractive they are because it's like, well, you have the proof is in the pudding. But it's like the proof is nowhere. Anyway, we have David and Lauren talking. Lauren needs to run. Lauren needs to run. She's talking about family dynamics. He talks about having a sister. This is not the first time he's going to talk about it, but he talks about having a sister. And about how his sister thinks he's too good for the show. I hope we meet her. I hope we meet her. He also mentions how he's in a book club and he's like, well, I read really well, but I get accused of not reading because although I read really well, I don't have good reading comprehension, so I have to like read things a million times. You don't, baby boy, if you don't have good reading comprehension, do you actually read really well? Do you? Because I feel like that was contradictory a little bit what you just said. And that's also my other thing is I feel like people these types of personalities will be like, oh, trust me, I know what I'm talking about, even though I have a question about what I'm talking about. But I'm just not willing to like let people know that I don't think that I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Dude. BTW, if you're interested in reading, I have a book channel. If you want to check it out, it's listed below. I need growth if you want to follow that. Anyway, so we have Daniel and Taylor. Taylor needs to be on vocal rest because she's like, oh my, I feel really good. It's just my voice today. It's just my voice. Girl, sit down. Go. I know, but also they are like on a limited timeline. So I do kind of want to be empathetic towards her, but I'm also kind of like, we are all affected by you. So like go just take a rest just for the day or something. Like maybe write like a really long note to the person that you want to get to know and tell them everything that you're going to tell them out loud just on a note. um yeah, so Daniel and Taylor catch up. Also like the fact that she's a registered nurse and she's just kind of like pushing her voice, interesting. I don't know, maybe that's me being taking this a little too serious. um so he mentions that he journaled about her. Daniel, that's actually really, i feel like I feel like most girls just want to be journaled about. I would die If my husband came to me, yeah. Also, yeah, I have a husband. I am married. I'm 25. I We both have like young forever faces. So, yeah, whatever. I would die if my husband was like, "Yeah, I was journaling today about us." I'll be like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." So yeah, if you ever want to impress a girl, just tell her that you journaled about her. If you're attractive enough, she'll be impressed. If you're not, you will get a restraining order, I fear. So I'm just being so serious. I think a lot of girls just want to be journaled about because they really just want to like have they want to know that like men are thinking about them in very real ways. And you, I thought that was really cute. So then we have Joey and Monica. She mentions that her favorite movie is, or she mentions her favorite movie, and he's like, "You're joking." I know that movie back like the back of my hand. Oh wait, it was The Sound of Music. It was on like a continual loop at my grandma's house. Also, I didn't mention that Joey is somebody that has a sister who had cerebral palsy because I think she's the one that passed away. Um, he's just so like that is somebody who I feel like is God's gift to this earth. Like he's just so beautiful, so handsome. Um Also, I have a little brother with cerebral palsy, but it's a lot more high functioning probably than I think what his sister's was. But oh my god, like if you're looking for truly somebody who you might think is a good person, I think people that are siblings to people with special needs, you just have it built in you to like care for other people. And so I kind of feel like Joey, I believe him when we see signs that he's a good person because you have to lean into the good and the care of other people when you have a sibling or a relative that has um needs that you need to attend to. You know what I mean? Um, okay, so then we have Lauren and David talking about non-negotiables. David wants someone with a good family. Lauren talks about a vacation story in Mexico. She got a group tattoo of the patriarchy. And I really like the more that we find out about Lauren, I'm like, who the heck? Because her packaging just does not give. I have the patriarchy tattoo. What? But I love it. But I already knew that like he wasn't gonna be down for that because he's not in like he probably would get an FTP um tattoo and it would be like for the patriarchy. You know what I mean? So it just is kind of weird. Molly and David talk, they feel like they have awkward conversation. You know? I feel like even although I hate David, I don't hate him. Although I don't like what I'm seeing about David, I just kind of feel like he just flows better with Lauren, even though I don't want them to be together. He flows better with her. Okay, so when we're on to episode 2. I also cannot believe I talked that long about one episode where like nothing truly like exciting happened. I'm hoping it doesn't last that long. Okay, good. I have less notes for episode 2. So we have Taylor and her croaky voice. Go to bed, my love. She's on a date with Daniel. It is like really interesting to talk about David, Daniel and Taylor, knowing what we know at the end of episode 6. Like it's really reframing everything I want to say about them, but I will not say it until episode 6. Okay, so we find out that she has a lip tattoo of Taco Bell. I don't even know what to say. I don't know. People be like, people are just young and stupid. I can't imagine like being. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Let me just leave it. So, Sarah talks to Amanda, which I'm really disappointed we're not seeing more of Amanda because I want to hear from somebody beautiful like Amanda. And she's 42. I don't think that we've had like an older woman. We've had older men on the show, but not an older woman. But I would have wanted her to be introduced sooner so I could get to know her more. Ben and Sarah talk faith. Sarah isn't religious, and Ben is, but he's open to her qualms about religion. And that's honestly such a very contemporary discussion. Like people who have, because I think she said that she was raised Catholic. She was raised Catholic. Ben is religious and does go to church every single week, but she is more so like, well, because my sister's gay and because I believe in social like issues, I'm put off by the church, which is like the boat that I mean, my sister's not gay, but that's the boat I'm in the way that I was raised. Well, okay, it's different because I still have faith, but I am turned off by religion because there are so many things that just do not inspire comfort. Whereas Ben, I heard a noise. Okay, I'm sorry. I just have to check my phone. I swear to I thought that my something turned off on my phone, but thank God it didn't. I hope I'm not editing this. I know I hope I'm editing this, so I took that out. If I'm not, I'm so sorry that you had to sit through that. But anyway, you'll get over it. Sorry, I did that. Did you like that? Okay. So Sarah is talking about her qualms. This is a very contemporary, very important discussion. Like I mentioned, like religion, there's so many things about religion that need to be that I've deconstructed from, that she's deconstructed from, but Ben is more like grew up with the church, doesn't really have to ask him any questions, but is open to the conversation about the things that she has on her mind, which I think is very interesting. So, sorry, my nose, oh my god. There's a love triangle between Dave, Molly, and Lauren, which we have known about, but they kind of keep just going back to it, and I get a little bit bored of these conversations. I hate Dave for both of them, but I also kind of feel like Molly could handle his BS better than Lauren could, because Molly has this like, it's not stoicism to her, but she has this like removed, detached feeling about her, whereas Lauren is going to take things like very emotionally. Whereas Molly like has never been in like a serious thing, so this would roll off her back so much easier for her than Lauren. So the whole Dave, Molly, and Lauren thing keeps going on. And we have Dave and Molly bonding over not being academically motivated. What is going on with the cast of Minnesota not or talking about not being academically motivated? As somebody who did not do great in school, I can relate to it, but it's also kind of like this is actually really interesting that like people are really bonding over how little they are interested, or about how they have, this might also just be like a tell of how people are very comfortable with their learning disorders, because like ADHD really impacts academics. Other disorders I think really impact academics. I know I have one for sure. So maybe people are opening up about it now because it's more acceptable to. I don't know. So then Dave and Lauren share their feelings with each other. Dave, I think, to Molly, reveals that he cheated on his past girlfriend, but he doesn't feel it's relevant. Oh, I bet you wouldn't. That is just like if you didn't like need to run, you need to. If anybody's ever like, yeah, I cheat on somebody, but it's not relevant. That was your last serious relationship. It is relevant to your next relationship if you want it to be serious. Like, why did you cheat? What was the response? What the heck? I need to know the nitty gritty, and the people that you're in a relationship with do too. It's not relevant because you don't want to talk about like the shame of it all. I feel. Um, yeah, I guess that is a question for the comments. Do you ever feel like there is this? No, dude. No, okay. No, maybe you do have a different answer. Do you ever feel like cheating could just not be relevant to your next relationship if you did cheat from your last relationship? In what way could it be that cheating is not relevant? Or do you believe that it's even a possibility? I personally kind of feel like I just kind of feel like every bit of cheating is relevant to your next relationship. It doesn't even matter if it's like the smallest little text that you sent. Like that is significant to me. Um anyway, he also says that girls always approach him when he's out. Who is approaching you? You look like someone's uncle. Okay. Like, who is like, I swear, dude, what? Joey and Monica, I love their energy, dude. They just both seem like really good people. Monica opens up about her grandparents' relationship, as everybody does on the show. Like, I just want my grandparents' love. I just love. Little do you know, your like grandparents are like horrible and toxic to each other, but like in front of people, they just play this little role. Um, I feel like everybody kind of has this idealized version of what they see from their parents or grandparents relationship. It's like we're not like for real in their stuff, because I feel like we would for real know more things. um Madison, I'm not saying that like Monica's grandparents like legit went through things. I don't know them, obviously I don't know any information, but I kind of feel like we like really idealize past relationships that are our grandparents and parents, not realizing like we probably have some like parallels, in dating in 2025. Maybe not a lot, but we probably know. So Madison and Alex catch up. Cute, but boring. Madison and Mason catch up. Cute, but boring. Also, I realized when I was typing out my notes, Madison and Mason are basically the same name. One just has a DI in it. Like the difference between Madison and Mason is just a DI. Isn't it? Anyway, Megan Mason, her real name is Margaret. Then your name isn't Meg. I did the same exact thing with what's her name from the ultimatum. Sandra goes by, or no, Sandra is her name, and she went to go by Sandy. Girl, your name isn't Sandy, it's Sandy. Meg, your name isn't Meg, it's Mag. Marg. No, I'm being stupid. I'm being facetious. But no, when people like manipulate their little names to like something that isn't the exact thing, I'm like, okay. Anyway, so Megan and Mason bond over their favorite movies. Oh my god, they both watched Her, and common interests. Megan and Mason work really well together. They also to me just feel very much like they have never been out of high school. You know what I mean? They both feel immature in a way that is well matched. But I feel like because Mason is attracted to Madison more, it's really ruining their connection, and it's upsetting for the show to watch. It really is. But let's be for real. Mason, Meg, Madison, none of these people should be getting married soon. And I feel like have come to terms with that. Same with Molly. Meg, Madison, Molly, Meg, Madison, Molly, Mason. Are those all the M names from the show? And they're all too immature. Oh my god. Me being like all these M things. Meg Madison, Molly Mason lack maturity in order to be married. Somebody stop me. Okay, dude. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, stop trying. Anyway, Devin and Virginia, very compatible. Oh my god. I don't think I've once talked about Devin, Virginia, and what's her name? Brittany, which I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly because it is an emphasis on the two T's. But I feel like I'm stopping in the middle of her name. I don't know. Okay, I also don't know if I'm looking at Virginia and Devin being like, oh my god, they're so compatible. I think they're more compatible because like they're both light skinned and I'm like projecting onto them. But then also because it's like I think a lot of people are gonna look at this and be like, obviously he's gonna be more attracted to Virginia. Um because of color like we all have like the bias of wanting to see people that are more like that more look like each other together. Um but then also like I don't know. I feel like Devin and Brittany are also just not compatible in the way that like we'll see. We'll talk about that later. So then we have Joey and Monica get engaged. Oh my god. I love when the happy couples be happy coupling. And right off the bat, we don't need to have more conversations from them because it is what it is. They're together. I hope they're together. I hope they're together right now. Unless we like figure out something horrible. Unless Joey's literally like the Trevor, I'll cry. I'll really cry if Joey's like a Trevor of the season. I'll really have my faith in humanity will just go down like 50 levels, dude. Oh gosh. Anyway, so we see Madison and Alex. Sorry, no, yeah, it's Madison and Alex. Madison kind of scares Alex. He and I don't think that he's complex. Whoa, I don't think that he's equipped for her complex trauma. He's somebody who seems like very focused on like the positivity of life, and he's very like wholesome and like probably grew up like very securely attached. So when it comes to like people that have to work through trauma, um he's not good at working through that. He's kind of good at like showing the great parts of life and showing the positivity and the beauty, but he doesn't have the tools to like work through what she needs to work through, you know what I mean? But he can give her hope, so I think that's why they like connect. We have Mason and Madison. They just flow better. They even have similar names. But I think the whole thing is that Madison just deserves better, and Mason's kind of just like there, literally giving like nothing, but is just that literally. This is how a lot of also Midwestern um couples I feel like are. Is just like she's Barbie and he's just Ken, just Ken, and I feel like that's with a lot of these people. We end up on Megan Madison. I literally wrote I don't know. The hell? Like I don't even like what was I talking about? Episode 3. So I love the energy of Joey and Monica's reveal. It was so sweet because they were both like just in shock, very verbal, very vocal. Um, just you just want to root for them to both be happy, and that might be manipulation on the show's part, but I'm falling for it. I'm falling for you guys. I love you. But I also at the same time reveals are kind of hard to trust because I think that shock can also make you act disingenuously. You know, you want to lean into the joy and the happiness of the moment because, like, you probably have like a million cameras around you, and it's like, oh, if I like act like I think that he's ugly, then I'm gonna be canceled or whatever the heck. And then also, there's all this pressure. You know, I feel like the way that Shake and Deep D's reveal went, he wasn't initially like disappointed and like hating her off the bat. He was excited about her, and then just like dogged her at the later part of the season. So yeah, I like the reveal, but I'm also kind of like you can't put so much stock into the reveals because it's always like the shock carries for those moments, but then later on something happens. I feel. Anyway, Taylor and Daniel. Taylor's not gonna be interested in Daniel, dude. I wrote that down knowing that I would say it, but like I didn't know what the heck was happening. Um, if they just don't look compatible, dude. I don't know. Ben and Sarah catch up. I forgot that they were even people. Like he reassures her about being comfortable with her sister being gay. And I'm also just kind of like, how are we in 2025 still having these conversations? Shame on the bigots keeping these hateful conversations alive as to whether or not we should accept people for the sexuality that they have. Shame. It's so upsetting actually. I just feel like every time I like think about the fact that we're in 2025 and it's still like we commend people like Ben for being like, by the way, your sister's sexuality like is not a thing to me. It should not be at all. You know, like I'm about to get so mad. Anyway, Madison soothes Alex by giving her the Beryllian. That was a cute moment. And she also reassured him by having like healthy conversation. Because Alex was kind of put off by the fact that she was, you know, a self-identified avoidant because he's had experiences like that in the past. But he does also do a good job of really stressing to her like it was on an extreme level that that person was avoidant, probably the one that he cheated that she cheated on him with the avoidant probably was so avoidant that that they didn't have healthy communication, and then the avoidant cheated on him, so he probably has like a grudge against avoidant people. But I feel like the fact that Madison was like, you know what, I should just prove to him that I am down and I am here, give him a little Beryllian. But that also just also reaffirms to me like this, like so many people from this show are just so high school like. um and it weirds me out a little, I don't know, because the way that the Berlian was like such like, oh my god, thank you so much, oh my god, I'm gonna tell everybody about this, oh my, it's a stuffed animal, which is a cute symbol. Maybe I'm being a Debbie Downer about this, but it's like he just she I don't know. Mason and Madison catch up. I literally, for the 5th time, wrote down, I think they look more compatible than her and Alex. Girl, we been knew that you have thought that. There's so much love triangle conversation and coverage, but it's just not exciting. Like, there's so much of Madison and Mason, Madison and Alex, Dave and Molly, Brittany, and Devin and Virginia all talking, but it's like not, it's like the same things repeated. So it makes it hard for me to even write notes because it's like I don't even want to cover this conversation. It's just the same exact. Oh, but how do you know, girl? Oh, okay. um, Dave, I said, is weird, but it is entertaining. Why are there always one, at most two, really stand out weird people on the show that are like harmful, that like feel malicious? You know, I mean, casting, of course, is like doing its magic with like casting like the archetypes that they want us to see. But like, why is it never just like, why can't like five of them be like, you know? Anyway, David mentions the whole why can't we get along politically thing. Like the whole he just goes on that rant with I think it was Lauren or was it Molly. You know what? It's crazy also because I assume this man was like 100% red. And then he's like, there's good things about both people. I want less government and blah, 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 and I am blah, 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 blah. But I do believe that liberals have better hearts. That's something that like I feel like conservatives do not talk about or admit. Like, I feel like that is very much a liberal standpoint to be like morally just like. But the fact that he said it threw me off a little bit because I was like, oh, I did not expect that at all. But then he's like, I don't like that we have political things in our dating apps. You got something to hide or what? You know what I mean? It's like if you don't want to put something on political on your dating app, don't go to a dating app. Don't go to that dating app. There's like 15 out there. Like, anyway, but then he goes on the whole like, of course, because it's like, that he's conservative, like leaning for sure, conservative in general. He's like, you know what? It's not wrong to be a stay-at-home mom. No one is saying it's wrong to be a stay-at-home mom. People are saying that it's wrong for like people to put that as the only option. Like the fact that like there should be options for people, and the fact that like could be a talking point of that like not being just an option. Like if you think it's the only option, that is like bad. Anyway, I just feel like it's like a weird conservative talking point of like it's not wrong to be a stay. Yeah, a lot of people were raised by stay-at-home moms and they like value that, but they don't want that to be their only like future to look forward to. I don't know, dude. I don't know. The girls make a fort. That's cute. I want to make it made me want to make a fort in my little living room. I feel like it was just so wholesome and bonding. I love when the girls get together and experience girlhood. I love it. I even love it when I was just gonna say I even love it when the men get together and experience manhood. Ugh, no, I don't. No, I'm kidding. I do like the camaraderie amongst the men and women. But it just felt kind of like a sense of childhood seeing the little forts get built. I love leaning into the joy of these things. So we have Madison and Alex talking. Madison has been so self reliant. Even when Alex asks, how can I help you when you have trouble eating? Because Madison did open up about having trouble eating and about how she knows exactly when it started. She says, you can't really do anything. It's my responsibility. My heart really broke because I think when you are so self reliant, when you are traumatized, and your parents cannot provide for you and they have neglected you, you really do like repeat. It's just my responsibility. Like you don't need to do anything for me. I'm fine. I can get through like, and it sucks because there are people that just want to like help you eat. Like, actually makes me want to cry a little bit because like even a while ago, like I was putting up a painting in my office and my husband was like, do you need any help with that? And I was like, I can do it. And he was like, well, even though you can do it yourself, like just know I can still like help you. I was like, ow. Like it just, I really do feel for Madison in a lot of ways because you can just tell she just needs somebody to just be there for her and be her security. But she's not going to admit it because that's your self-defense, really trying to just protect you because you couldn't rely on the person that raised you, so you have to like go to yourself. So then Meg, anytime she has like good talk with Mason, she's like, oh my god, girls. No, she'll come in with her little black and be like, okay, so Mason or whatever. Mason is like confused, but like I'm not confused. And she always does it around like the black girls in her space because she doesn't be talking like that with anyone else. I'm gonna say this with so much love because I could say this without love because it's like annoying, but like you guys, when you guys talk, I'm talking to white women. Also, I asked a question for white women a couple episodes videos ago. If you want to go check out my channel, question for white women. But like white women, you do not have to put a black scent on around other black people in order for us to understand you. Especially like as somebody who's more like whitewashed or whatever. People do that around me all the time, and it's like you can be authentic around me. It's actually really insulting that you're kind of like molding yourself to like fit your language around me in a way that is not authentic to you. I don't know. I'm just kind of bothered by it as somebody who just always peeps like black sense. Because it just makes me uncomfortable. It makes me I don't know, like maybe black women appreciate it, but I don't. I don't know. Just like every time Meg does it, she really plays it up and she's very exuberant, and I don't like that. When it's around like other black people, when it's around black people. Okay, so then we have more love triangle talk with the drawn out conversations. Mason is boring and not marriage material. Finally, I just wrote it out because I felt bad about thinking that he was boring, but I was like, he is though. Madison is deserving and should not be in this process. I like her for TV, but I also for her soul hope that she finds something that fulfills her and that she gets her peace and security. Ugh. Episode 4. Ben and Sarah, completely forgot about them again. Like, but I so appreciate the more that we hear from Sarah, because Sarah is basically kind of bringing up very basic things like basic human rights, equality, saying like, I wasn't very politically active until Trump got in office, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna but she was like, I just want basic human rights and equality. And then especially with George Floyd, which this is actually very significant for them to be in Minneapolis talking about George Floyd because it happened in Minneapolis. And the way that she talked about it, just like really humanizing the conversation. Because I feel like a lot of these conversations around BLM, a lot of like people have annoyance around it, or like um they just have this dramatic energy towards it, when it's really just what happened was somebody got murdered and it sparked a bunch of feelings around the world. So the fact that she talked about it in a very real way was very good conversation. And so Ben's kind of just like visibly uncomfortable. Like, I just keep myself out of things. Like, I don't really get into it. I'm not very educated, which is after you turn 8, can I say 18? Yeah, I'll say 18. You saying like, well, I'm just not that educated, I don't have much interest, I'm not it's like a scapegoat. It's like you could get educated, but like you just don't want to because it kind of makes you uncomfortable. I find that like education provides comfort. Like, ignorance is not bliss when somebody like challenges your ignorance. I really do feel like if you kind of feel like, well, I don't like to get into politics because it makes me uncomfortable and like I just stay out of it, but that's like so like regressive, to be like, I just stay out of things. It's like you could make so much change if you just picked up like a book. You know what I mean? um Anyways, then after that there's like so much nothing filled conversation. There's so much nothing filled conversation. At this point I had fallen asleep at least 2 times while watching this show, and I had to get back into it because I don't know, the tea just is not there. The dynamics for tea are there, but they're not. I don't know, dude. I forgot that Madison was even talking to Alex. How did I forget that? But because there's been so much Madison and Mason talk. Anyways, so Madison and Mason are now boyfriend and girlfriend. Unfortunate because I just don't see them liking each other. um, and it's also weird because like directly after their boyfriend and girlfriend, you would think that like it would be established in the groups, but it takes a while for them to. It takes a while. Anyway, so Devin talks to Brittany um about having an injury. So he has an injury. Well, yeah, I guess in high school was it? He had an injury that caused him a lot of pain. And he went to doctors that weren't validating him. There is nothing more infuriating, dude, when you go to doctors and they're just like, sorry, yeah, your labs look normal. So then he basically kind of it seemed like he fell into a depression, started abusing the painkillers that were given to him. But then he and he like had a little bit of resentment towards God. Then he turned towards God and asked, just like, what do I need to do? And God was like, go see the doctor. You need to go see Doc. And then the doctor kind of healed him. Because he talks about getting surgery on his femur and his pelvis that were rubbing together. I don't know medical terms at all, but I thought that was very like a really good moment and like a very vulnerable thing to open up about, because that is such just like pain. Because he was also talking about the fact that it took away his love for basketball, and that was something that gave him a lot of strength and identity. And it just is such a valuable conversation that is also very revealing when you're talking to the person that you potentially want to spend your life with. I just really appreciated that conversation because it was so real and honest. Yeah. Okay, so we have Devin and Virginia. Virginia says she's never been with a nice guy. How do beautiful women end up in these situations where they don't end up with nice, not even just like a successful guy, a rich, a nice guy? What? Like, and I'm not saying that like ugly people, like it makes sense that you never end up in a night, but it's like you have the you have like premium pick, like I don't know, dude. Just like, what are we doing? Anyway, Devin shares his experience with her, the one that he shared with Brittany, which is so incredibly commendable. It's so, I love when people are very vulnerable in a way that is just to like share what happened to them. That's not manipulative at all. Because I feel like it's kind of hard sometimes on reality TV to like see real conversations that are from a place of growth and not a place of like manipulation. Like, please feel bad for me, please Netflix, you know. um so Lauren has established that she's just here for Dave, and she wants space for Molly because Molly is very open about the fact that she is with him. So then, sorry, there's like, I don't have like breathing space. I feel like myself, I can feel myself like closing my nose whenever I like am talking, and it doesn't allow me to just. No one cares, dude. Okay, so we come back. Lauren confronts Dave and is like, so, did you say that Molly was your number one? Am I wasting my time with you? Because you're my number one. And you're out here telling me that I was like, you're number one? Hell. And so then he's like, I didn't want to get caught up in your girl drama. And she's like, and I'm like, actually, I'm not really that shocked. I mean, coming from a guy like, duh, the hell. So, and then she's like, it's not girl drama. I just want to know if I'm wasting my time. Yeah, and that is normal. It's not just girl, like this. It is also interesting that like the girls are kind of more in a triangle over a guy. Well, are they? Okay, I feel like the girls care more of the fact that they're in triangles, but the guys are kind of like not as pressed. You know what I mean? Um, is that even a correct? Somebody let me know if that's incorrect, because I feel like I just said that and I didn't properly analyze all the people in love triangles. So yeah, so they kind of break off that episode of it being like, oh, what's gonna happen after that conversation? Then we get to episode 5. I don't think that I like marked where episode 5 ends and episode 6 begins. So if you haven't finished episode, you're probably done. You probably did watch episode 5 and 6. I will be going from 5 to 6 probably like in a random spot. Anyway, Devin and Britt broke up so calmly. I did not even mention the fact that Britt brought up the fact that her sexuality is open to men and women. And Devin he didn't react poorly, but he just was uncomfortable with it. And it's really hard because it takes a lot of like bravery to even say those things. You would hope that you would be supported, but he's kind of like, well, are you like down for me though? Like, and you're not really interested in dating? Are you not interested in women? It's like, no, that's what sexuality is. It's like you're still interested in women. It's just when you're monogamous, you're monogamous. And that's basically what she said. Um, but she didn't like the response, and then also I think they just knew it like it wasn't it. So then they kind of just calmly broke up and we're gonna be friends, which is cool. Because I do think that like Devin and Virginia are gonna work better together anyways. All right. So Ben and Sarah get engaged. I like Sarah. Oh wait, sorry. I was gonna say I like Sarah. Sorry. I like that Ben was grappling with her qualms. Because I kind of feel like whenever somebody in Sarah's similar position speaks up about things that like are really important to them, whenever somebody like doesn't place that much importance, it can be like dismissed and it can be not taken seriously. And so the fact that it was taken seriously is so great. Anyway, so great. Sorry. I just run out of things to expand on because I'm just like, let me just get to the next point because this is going a little bit long. So Dave is having issues choosing between Molly and Lauren. He's also talking about his sister really intensely, being like, I don't know, I just don't know if I could choose you because my sister. What about your sister, bro? There's something, you know what? I get when like people I barely, but I do get when people place a lot of emphasis on like their parents and their parents' opinion because like you want to impress your parents, you want to make sure their parents think highly of you. But it's like, it's my sister. I don't know about my sister. What's going on with your sister? Like, does your sister like pay your bills or something? Like, I don't know. Um, yeah. So Dave has a conversation. Is it like your sister? Are you talking about like your girlfriend? Like, you have like a girlfriend back home? I don't know, dude. It's weirding me out. So Dave has a conversation with Molly. Molly basically catches on to the fact that like he's really grappling hard with, the connection between them, but he's kind of just insinuating that like he needs to choose one. And then she kind of just straight up says like, are you saying that you're letting go of me? He's like, yeah, I thought I just said that. You didn't say anything. Like, what? I thought I just said that. You didn't. He's so annoying to me. Oh my god. But he's like, he's not as annoying to me as he was in the beginning, because in the beginning he was just obnoxiously like annoying and dumb, but later on he just gets a little bit more tame, but he's still annoying. So we have Taylor and Daniel open up their little presents that they've given each other. They have the same stockings. Well, okay, so who is it? I think that Daniel like gives her a stocking and Taylor's like, oh my god, I actually have this stocking with a T. That's crazy. That's not crazy, dude. You went to Target and got those. I got those. They were literally hanging up. Like, go somewhere. Like, all these people like act like they're, oh my god, I didn't know that I was gonna have this coincidence with you, and it's so crazy that like my dad's name is your dad's. This is the Midwest. Like I said, people have been inbreeding here for years. You guys are all living very similar lives, actually. Like, this would be crazy maybe if you came from like different spots in the world, and like it just ended up having the same incredible coincidences. But like you guys live within a couple like miles of each other, going to the same high schools, probably same colleges, very common names. My dad's name is Dave. um, I'm born in Minnesota. Like, some people just act like, but then also I didn't really consider the fact that like we know something about Daniel that like probably is not making these conversations coincidental, right? Anyway, okay. He's telling her last. Okay, I thought that he was telling her last minute that he's a short king because he was like, yeah, I got like teased a little bit and like it's weird. It's like stupid people are teasing me about my appearance. I kind of feel like, although this is Love Is Blind, I feel like he should have teased that in the beginning, or should he have? No, because it's that's the whole experiment, right? I got nervous for him for a little bit because I was like, don't like, now that you're saying something, she's gonna like back out. But anyway, so then Taylor kind of talks about how like she was dating people that wouldn't post her on her Instagram, post her on their Instagram. And I'm thinking like she's only dating beautiful tall men, because if it comes to that point, you're only dating people that are over 5'8", people that are probably over 6 foot. Because if they're like refusing to, they're probably beautiful people, right? So I kind of felt like this is a bad sign for Daniel. Oh, because Daniel's like, I don't even get that. I don't even get that. I would post you every day. I would post you every single day. Every post would be about you. you know. Anyway, we get some reveals. I mentioned this earlier, but Minnesota reveals are not that exciting because all the guys look like different versions of each other. All brunette, generic looking guys. Like there was like not a lot of variety in Minnesota, dude. Having been lived there the whole summer that I lived there, I probably saw maybe 3 black people. And you probably saw like, now that I think about it, like all of my family. Oh, sorry. No, let me not think about things. Anyway, I'm just thinking about how little variation my own family has that is from Minnesota. um, except for me, I'm the DEI pick myself, picked straight out of Uganda, placed into this little family. Anyway, so Sarah and Ben do the reveal. It goes well. How could it not? Like they both look normal, attractive, tall, like fine people. There's no way that either one of them is gonna be like, like you'd have to be really picky if you were gonna be Sarah or Ben. Okay, so David and Lauren, they have a reveal. Oh, sorry, David and Lauren get engaged. That's a mistake. Also, the Happy Valentine's Day, very interesting because this was filmed a year ago. And I feel like it takes us a while to guess exactly when things are filmed, but I do like that, like, we know, oh, this was like precisely a year ago. Interesting. Um, and then Mason. Okay, so we see Mason hitting handing chilling in the men's quarters, being like, I'm gonna go talk to my number one in front of her boyfriend. And he doesn't even know, but be like, I'm gonna talk to my number one. Oh, uncomfortable. So I whenever they start talking, Mason and Madison, it's weird because she's like, I think you probably heard the news, and he's like, what news? And she doesn't straight up say like I have a boyfriend. She's like slowly like building up to it. And I'm like, girl, just get to it, girl. Oh my god. Um, so it takes a while for Mason to get broken up with. And it's also weird because like the girls, like, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if you have a different opinion, it was weird that the girls are kind of like, well, he just put it off too long, like he was like playing both of us. I kind of feel like we've seen overt players on this show, overt people that are saying the same exact things from one girl to another. Mason, I kind of feel like he's just kind of like airheaded and like not that smart. So I kind of feel like, I don't, maybe he was slightly manipulating them, but I feel like they're like Meg and Madison are talking about it like as if he is like this like conspiring evil like person that is like being so manipulative overtly in a way that like, in a way that he just, I feel like he's just kind of stupid, you know? And that might just be a scapegoat too, because there are a lot of people like me that'd be like, oh, men don't think, they're just stupid. No, I'm saying it like I genuinely feel like he just is not like, I don't know. Um, so Meg and Madison talk. Meg went in more because she didn't get more, and she can't choose him. Good for, sorry, I said Meg and Madison. Megan Mason talk. She wanted more, she couldn't get more, so she left. And she's like, listen, I just don't think it. Because honestly, in this situation, if it was any other season, I feel like somebody like Meg would be like, ah, like, you know, like Bliss chose Zach after they realized that uh, what the heck is her name? What the heck? You know, Bliss chose Zach, and that was his second choice, and that was like very overt. But like Meg is like, I don't want to be the second choice. I'm not going to be your default, which was very very fascinating. Um, I think it's good for her because also like he's not anything like. He's gonna be like a good boyfriend temporarily to a bunch of people. Like I don't think he's ready to be married ever. Anyway, ever, that's strong. He's not ready to be married right now. He's 32, but he feels like 16, dude. Anyway, like I feel like, no, let me stop. I said, oh my god, Taylor in this random little scene mentions that she cheats on her vision test. Don't cheat on your vision test, especially girl, because I live pretty close to Minnesota. If I ever see you driving and you run into my car, I'm bringing up those Netflix receipts and we're taking that to court. Girl, please. You cheat on your. I have a lazy eye too. It's not as overt, but like when you smile, you can, like, whatever. I'm not cheating on my vision test. If I need glasses, girl, I'm gonna get glasses. Like, just deal with the consequences of your bad biology. Sorry. Please. So, um, also, hey, why are we still in the pods at episode 6? What's that about? Anyway, Daniel and Taylor get engaged. I need this to be over. Okay, this is gonna be over soon. We're almost done here. Daniel and Taylor get engaged. She's not gonna like him. Next, I said before Dave and Lauren get engaged, he says he never thought someone would like him for just his heart and his mind. Once again, I don't understand why this man thinks that he's something that he's not. This man thinks he's Chris Hemsworth when he's somebody's uncle, bro. He's somebody's uncle. Yeah. I'm just icked out. Like, okay. So, we then get the reveal between Dave and Lauren, and it just is like normal. It's kind of like, oh shoot, I wanted so badly for Lauren to like look at him and humble out of him. I wanted Lauren to look at him and be like, and then walk away. Be like, man, looks like I don't know what you thought you looked like. Because like he thinks he's so something. Like this is a version of dysmorphia that I feel like dysmorphia typically puts you at, like negatively envisioning yourself, but he's very positively envisioning himself in a way that I just think that is weird. It's weird for somebody who looks like him. I just see like I want her to be like, you thought you were sexy, you're just a plain little man. And like, and the fact that she's like, he insinuated that he dates like a lot of hot people. Why is he dating? Why does he have access to hot people besides his employment? How does that work at all? Devin and Virginia get engaged. That was actually wholesome. For a minute, I didn't know though how to react, or I didn't know how Virginia was gonna react, because you can kind of see that Devin is like, he's not ugly, but I kind of feel like Virginia, if she's saying she's not going for nice guys, I kind of feel like she is going for like men who feel like they can act any type of way. I kind of feel like Devin would be humbled if he tried to do that. So I kind of feel like she wouldn't be as attracted to him. But she was not giving any horrible signs, but she wasn't really looking him in the face. And I was like, is that because you really didn't want to, or what, Virginia? What? And then I was like, ooh, Alex digs himself a hole, because they're having this conversation with Madison in the pods. And Madison's like, the thing that happened to me was really like horrible. The fact that Mason was like talking to two different girls, like affirming us in the same way. And then Alex is like, well, I can kind of see both sides. Like, I kind of see that. Like, I'm just really understanding. I understand. And then she's like, well, I don't really think, it's crazy because in this situation, I also see both of this conversation. Like, like he should have not done that. Like, you don't get to be a boy's boy in this situation when your girlfriend is being like, you just hurt my feelings, bro. You'd be like, mine. Poor Alex. He's just not supposed to be in the situation at all. Anyway, like, this conversation can't be laughed off, and he was really trying to do that. Okay, so then we have Madison and Alex break up after that, because which is like, honestly, that was a good conversation to break up after. They weren't gonna like each other anyway. I can't wait for the reveal. I can't wait for some of these reveals. Not because it's like people are gonna be like, oh shoot, I missed out on the most generic, boring looking Minnesota man who looks like everybody else, but just because it's are there gonna be a little bit more like regrets, or what's happening? Okay, so then we have Virginia and Devin do a reveal. I feel like she might be disappointed, is what I wrote. Shoot. Oh, when I said Devin and Virginia get engaged, I thought I was like relating that to the reveal. Whatever, I already gave my opinions about the reveal. Also, she said that she was on a spiritual retreat to her friends and family. Not Love is Blind. That's crazy. Girl, what? My God. Could I don't know. I don't have that in me. Taylor and David meet. Ooh, you're scared for David. Taylor and Daniel meet. The height difference was scaring us. Okay, it was scaring the audience because, of course, that's like his whole entire thing is the fact that he's only 5'8", which a page out of Tom and Zendaya's book? Okay, you can be 5'8" and still end up with Zendaya. Okay, you don't have to be like. There are so many people that I feel like are missing out on things because they feel as though height is so much more important. Personally, as somebody who is 5'0", 5'0", the only reason that like I feel like I went to go for somebody else who was taller, literally anyone is taller than me, but like is because I kind of feel like there's that also social societal pressure to choose like a tall man to feel like they can protect you. Um, that's so stupid. It's all about what's the word? Like optics. It's not about like connection. Um, yeah, poor Daniel should not be putting that much like stress on himself. I'm only 5'8". You're like 5'8". You're not 5'5". There are a lot of people who are 5'5" who are really struggling. But we're like, we look down upon like 5'8". You're just 5. You're not like. Anyway, so whatever. Then we finally get the reveal, and it goes fine because she's like either his same height or like a little shorter. So it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. He's like 5'8". It's not it's not bad. So then after their reveal, Taylor's like, I kind of just got a bad feeling after we had met because I recognized him and I went to my Instagram and basically she feels as though Daniel knew her from Instagram because he followed her months before and um then unfollowed her, and it kind of felt like he was bringing up every single thing that was mentioned in in her Instagram, which makes sense because the amount of times these people talked about Christmas, the amount of times that people talked about Christmas was ridiculous. It was like didn't I feel like it didn't matter, but it was so heavily emphasized on. Um, how does anybody in the situation act? Like, I don't think that Daniel can talk himself out of the situation. I kind of feel like because he got caught, he's just gonna have to be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I did recognize you. Oh, I'm just now remembering everything that I've been thinking these past couple of days." Like, especially because have always felt like she's not gonna like him, like physically, um, and I feel like now that this has come out, I just feel like they shouldn't be together anyway. I would be weirded out. I'd be creeped out. I'd be like, I'm never trusting anyone never again. This is gonna kind of break my soul a little bit. Anyway, how are you feeling about all of these episodes? Let me know how we're feeling about this whole Daniel situation. Ew, the hell. Let me know how we're feeling about Madison, my favorite, David, anybody who stood out to you, any moments that stood out to you that I might not have mentioned, anything about any of the conversations that they had, anything about that you're excited for, let me know in the comments. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have an amazing morning, afternoon, or night.